Hi ROL Kids, I'm Charlene from the GP Rock team and I will be bringing you our talk for the week. So we are still talking about pets, but this week's pet is a different type of pet and personally I wouldn't choose to have one. Can you guess what it is? I hope you got it right. We will be talking about snakes. Sheesh. So believe it or not, some people actually choose to have snakes as pets. I've got an interesting story for you, just to put it into perspective. And this story, the background of the story is often people choose to have small snakes as pets. But this lady chose a larger and dangerous snake. So this lady decided having a pet snake would be a good idea. So she went on and got her snake. But this snake was a large snake. But then as any pet owner, she allowed the snake to roam around freely in her house. It was allowed to go everywhere. And then she noticed something very strange. After some time, every single night when she would get into bed, the snake would crawl into bed with her and lie beside her. As a concerned pet owner, she decided to ask the professionals what was wrong with her snake. She thought maybe there might be an issue. So when she called the wildlife guys, they told her that she needed to get rid of the snake immediately because the snake was measuring itself beside her to see if it was able to swallow her whole. Can you imagine how scary and dangerous that is? So inviting dangerous, big snakes like this into our homes is just like inviting sin into our lives. And it might start as a very small sin, but eventually it will grow and grow and grow and take a hold of you until it destroys not only you, but the people around you. Little sins can be destructive. Little sins like lying, gossiping, hiding things from your parents might seem to be very small and harmless. But after some time, they will grow into something that becomes very big and which will destroy not only your life, but the people you care about. So to be able to avoid the pain that sin brings, we need to flee from it completely. I like to turn to the Bible always. So our story today is from one of my favorite Bible characters, and his name is Joseph. And we find the story about Joseph in Genesis. Joseph was one of 12 brothers, and Joseph was loved by his dad more than the other brothers. So the brothers got jealous, and their jealousy led them to selling him as a slave. Can you imagine? He was sold off as a slave. Anyway, Joseph found himself in Egypt. And in Egypt, he was working for a man named Potiphar. Now, Potiphar admired Joseph, and he was happy with the work that Joseph was doing. But not only was Potiphar admiring Joseph, Potiphar's wife was admiring him as well. And she wanted Joseph to sin. But Joseph, following God and listening to God, ran away from her. He did not hesitate. As soon as she wanted to tempt him, he ran. The Bible literally tells us that he ran away. And even though Joseph fled from the temptation and from the sin, he was wrongly accused. It was not a good outcome for Joseph. Sadly, Potiphar's wife lied to her husband, and Joseph ended up in jail. Oh. But this was all part of God's plan. And later on, we hear in the story that because Joseph stayed faithful to Potiphar, stayed faithful to God, God later used Joseph in a magnificent way. And he not only saved his family, he saved a lot of people. And that's just to tell us that, you know what, when you obey God and you listen to what he says, if you are faithful to God, he will be faithful to you. So let us learn from Joseph. Joseph was faithful to God. He fled from temptation immediately. He did not hesitate. As soon as he saw that sin was coming, sin was knocking, he fled from temptation. And for us, sin can be very hard to flee from, especially when the world around us tells us it's not a big deal. small lies are okay. And when we believe this, and the world continually tells us that it's okay, the small sin that we've been allowing to fester in our hearts will grow into something bigger. And we might not always be able to get rid of it on our own, but there's always a good there's always a good ending to the story, and that is Jesus. If you invite Jesus into your heart, and you do admit that you are struggling with a particular sin, or you're struggling, it might be to tell the truth, or you've been hiding a lot of things from your parents, if you talk to him and you communicate with him, and Jesus is very faithful, he will help you. He will help clean your house and get rid of these snakes. All right, and Jesus will clean every single corner of your heart that is struggling with sin. You just need to talk to him, have a conversation. I can only imagine how much of a close relationship Joseph had with God, so much that he trusted him, even when things were not going his way. And that's my encouragement to you. Pray, talk to Jesus, tell him all those things that you're struggling with, and do not allow these small sins to grow into big sins, like small snakes grow into big snakes, because God will be there to help you every single step of the way. No matter how small these sins may be, talking about someone behind their back, lying about small things, they will grow and they will become something big that you will struggle with as the years go by, or even as the days and moments go by. So my encouragement to you and to myself as well, that as soon as sin comes knocking at your door, flee from it. Keep a clean heart like Joseph did, and stay faithful to God, because if you stay faithful to God, he will stay faithful to you, and he is always there to rescue you. That's our encouragement for today. Thank you, guys.